And now to our other top story, show me the money. Right now, scandal-plagued New Jersey Governor, excuse me, Chris Christie is behind closed doors at a big money private fundraiser for Senate Republicans. And I'll show you where this is taking place right now. Right behind these nondescript closed doors in Manhattan, this is a live picture of the Harvard Club in New York City. The event is chock full of major Republican donors, supporters, and lawmakers, which include Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. But for the second time in a row, Christie has postponed a town hall meeting, which was scheduled for this morning. The reason given, snowy weather conditions in the state. That's now rescheduled for Thursday. And when it happens, it will be the first time Christie faces question in person from voters since the George Washington Bridge scandal exploded. Christie, of course, vehemently denies knowing anything about his administration's involvement in shutting down lanes on the bridge for political retribution. Joining me now, the host of New Jersey Capitol Report, Steve Adubato, and CNN political commentator Paul Begala. Let me start with you, Steve. Postponing this town hall again, smart or not, especially when on the same day you're meeting with very wealthy donors at the Harvard Club?
Look, it's complicated. The optics of it, if you will, I could understand the argument that you and others are making. Hey, this doesn't look right. But New Jersey, in terms of moving around, as someone who had to get here into Manhattan from New Jersey, not easy. I'm not making an excuse for the governor, but the fact is, it is hard to get around. So if you argue safety first, you want to make sure that people can get there safely. But I'll say this.
People coming to the town hall.
Yeah.
So you're saying that makes sense.
But here's the thing. You hold that town meeting Thursday, there better be a pretty big storm if you're going to cancel it again. And here's why. Governor Christie needs to demonstrate that he is the governor governing the state. And those town meetings were, in fact, and you know this, Erin, as well as I do, they were a key part of who he was in the first term and how he got to be the governor who got 62% of the vote over a Democratic opponent, right? So he's got to hold that town meeting. He's got to answer all the questions, totally unscripted, right? And he's got to be that Chris Christie, but I would argue a kinder, gentler Chris Christie, meaning tough and strong, but not as in your face, if you will.
Yeah. No.
But he can't cancel again. He just can't.
Paul, can he do that? Can he be that Chris Christie that Steve is describing?
Well, you know, I think Steve's exactly right. I think he has to be. I actually don't think he's got a kinder, gentler gear.
Oh,
okay,
come
Steve's
on.
been
You
watching
saw
him
him
much
after
more
Sandy.
closely. Yeah, well, he was terrific after Sandy, that's true. But when he can't, if he could go an hour at a town hall meeting and not call one of his own constituents an idiot, I'll be very surprised and I'll be impressed. This guy is a real political talent, though. Don't get me wrong. He has terrific talent. And the fact that he's being sidelined, he went to Florida last month. The governor there, Rick Scott, is up for re-election, would not appear with him. Then he went to my beloved Texas, pretty red state. Barack Obama lost Texas by 16 points to Mitt Romney. The politicians, Republicans there, would not appear with him. Not even Rick Perry, who does a lot of dumb things. So these guys are all running from him like the devil runs from holy water, and that's a real problem for the Republicans when one of their most talented politicians is halfway sidelined. He can raise money, and that's good for him.
A lot.
But he's a lot, and that's great. But he's fighting with one hand tied behind his back if he's not able to use that political talent to help his party.
And I'll say this about what Paul's arguing. Paul, I hear what you're saying, and you know the Democratic side really well. But here's the thing. The Republicans want Chris Christie out there. He raised, as you know, a record $6 million on behalf of the Republican Governors Association in January. That's
right.
Twice the amount, if I'm not mistaken, Erin,
the right number.
Twice the amount that anybody else ever raised in that position as the head of the Republican Governors Association. The question is, Paul, how do you continue to raise that money while some Republican candidates running for governor are like, Governor, we'll take the money, but listen, we don't have to take the picture, do we? Over time, that's going to be a problem. Chris Christie knows that, and I'll tell you what, my opinion is this. Chris Christie needs to get the message to some of those folks. You want the money. You can't be running from me. And I'm telling you, they want that money. And if they don't have, that doesn't mean that they know everything that's happened here or they know how it's going to end. But, Erin, you can't be running from someone if you're going to take their money.
Well, but Paul, what also seems interesting to me about this point is there are plenty of Republicans out there, some of whom, by the way, want to run against Christie in this, in 2016. Right. They look. They clearly. They're happy, sort of, that this is all happening right now, right? But as long as money matters, and money is what matters, is that going to be what determines his fate? As long as he can still raise money, he's going to be the front runner. Forget what the polls say right now.
I have long, even before the bridge scandal, I've been a dissenter about the notion of Chris Christie ultimately being the Republicans' nominee. I have been. I could be wrong. I often am. But I never thought, first off, I think he's too regional. I didn't really believe he would play very well in the South and the Midwest. But also, I think it's very likely that if he gets out there, he does the same shtick that works so well in New Jersey, calling his citizens idiots. And he does that to some nice lady in Ottumwa, Iowa. No way. And I also think, frankly, for his party, he's a little too moderate. He took the Obama money for Medicaid. He obviously hugged President Obama on Sandy. I think he's got some positions where the
Some incredibly
far-right
tight
base,
gun laws, some of the tightest in the
Sure.
country.
Yeah, but I'll just say this. I do think, really quick, Erin, I do not think that Christie, the idiot thing you keep repeating, Paul, I hear you. Yes,
So offensive.
my opinion over the top. But I'll tell you what. I believe Christie understands that some of that language is not only over the top but inappropriate, and he can still be a tough, strong, aggressive governor and still without being rude to people. I think he can pull that off. I think he knows he has to pull it off, particularly now.
Steve, let me ask you about his two-time campaign manager. He fired him aggressively, just like he did
Bill Stepien.
Bill Stepien, and also, of course, Bridget Kelly. Bill Stepien is rejecting subpoenas, not giving the information over. My question to you is why? I mean, there's still this question out there that people have that there might be something to hide, no matter how vociferously the governor denies it.
Okay. Anyone who says that they know why Bill Stepien or anyone else is pleading the Fifth or the Fourth Amendment, you better be his lawyer if you know that. I don't know why, but I'll say this. There's the court, the legal process, the legal court system, and you have every right to do that constitutionally. I understand that. If you're the lawyer, you may say, listen, let's work out a deal, do whatever you want to do. But in the court of public opinion, let's not kid ourselves. And Christie knows this. Sooner or later, those people keep adding up who say, I'm not going to testify. I want to plead the Fifth. I want to plead the Fourth. It doesn't look good because it looks like there's something to hide, even if they don't have anything to hide, particularly because the governor has said, I want my people to cooperate. And to the average person, pleading the Fourth and the Fifth Amendment doesn't look like that. So my opinion is this. People are going to have to start cooperating. And cooperating to me means turning everything over.
Right. All right. Well, thanks very much to both of you. We appreciate it. And interesting, Paul's thing that he dissents in terms of the front-runner status. Certainly the polls show that right now, Paul.
I don't think the Republicans are burning him up with any hot candidates on the other side.